It was a fantastic weekend. It was everything I wanted in a weekend of 3D archery. I've also never done one of those like official 3D archery shoots where you hike through the mountains and they set up all the animals and stuff like that, and they do these really cool shots where you have to go in between trees, and you've got multiple obstacles in the way that your arrow can hit and destroy itself on the way as it arcs towards the target. But it was, it was everything I wanted in a weekend. I went up there with one other guy and carpooled and basically just slept in the Flagstaff forest, camped in our tents, and it was awesome. I will tell you that the change from 150 feet above sea level to 7,000 feet above sea level, along with the temperature change, did have an effect on my equipment, at least. I don't know about everybody else's, but I've had that happen before. And just working with stuff that has threads on it and screws into other things, I've figured out over the years that when you change temperatures, that stuff seems to come loose or get tighter depending on which way the temperature goes, up or down. So I think I'm going to talk about that in another video here to come, just because it was kind of important. But I really didn't know what to expect. I think this is kind of a shoot that is trying to, get some market share and compete with TAC a little bit. So when we got up there, we looked at the weather report like 10 days in advance or something like that, and it was the exact same weather report every single day for the next month and a half. Basically, scattered thunderstorms, chance of rain, high of 68, low of like 54 or something like that. So it was pretty consistent. I was kind of worried about mudslides up there, especially with some of the fires that have been going on up there. Really no fires going on up there right now since it's so wet, but confirmed in advance that the venue where this shoot was going to be wasn't really affected by those areas, and rock slides weren't really happening in that area. So when we went up there, we had to go through Flagstaff, and the road directly to it got closed for some reason. I don't know if it was rock slides. I don't know if it was construction. Something happened, and we had to go all the way around through national forest roads, which was kind of fun, honestly, and that's where we found our camping site. But we got up there on Friday and got a chance to check in early, and it was kind of worrying because when we got there were 3 dudes there sitting at a tent while it was raining, and nobody else was there. Nothing at least in view was set up, so that had us kind of worried. But so we basically just left, went to our camping site, spent the night there, and woke up the next morning at like 5 a.m. and just cruised around until the event started. But once we got there to the event the day of on Saturday, everybody drove in and got there en masse pretty much. So it was actually pretty well attended. I know the first day there, I'm not really a good judge of numbers, but I think probably 100 to 150 people showed up, and that was at 8 a.m. So yeah, it was a pretty good turnout, even with the weather. I wasn't bothered by it because halfway through the shoot it started to rain, and I brought a rain jacket and my big Kafaru bag, so I pretty much had everything I needed in there. And I put all my electronics and stuff like that in Ziploc bags, so I was prepared for that. So I just threw on my $35 rain jacket and was dry for the entire duration of that shoot. I started off on the Sitka, whichever one it's pronounced. And that turned out to be a very poor decision because that is the hardest course. And it was an absolute massacre. at least for my group anyways. I got with a group going up there, asked them if I could shoot with them. The dude I came up with, we sort of separated on the first day, but I got with a group and asked them if I could shoot with them, and they were like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we went up there and started on the Sitka course, and I lost 6 arrows on that course. I started off with, I think, 13 or 14 and lost 6 on that course. And the rules are you can move up to whatever distance you need to, but I think we all decided within our group we weren't going to do that. So there was zero forgiveness on those targets, because if you missed the targets, you pretty much either went into a rock or into a tree. And the ground was real wet up there, so your arrows just kind of plowed into the dirt, and we had a hard time finding a couple of them that missed into the dirt. But you were definitely rewarding for shooting short, and there was just no forgiveness, and the targets were really small, with the exception of a big ram that we had to shoot at. But that one was from about 115 to 120 yards. So weirdly, we didn't have any trouble with that target. We all hit it. So I don't know. I think it might have been a combination of just nerves for all of us and the size of the targets, the difficulty. There's no room for error on those, and so it was pretty much a massacre. But the rest of the weekend was really good, and without further ado, here's some of the footage that I got from the HiketoHunt. So enjoy.